Doing a new deck profile for the Perfect Machine King deck. Anyways, this is new changes that I've made since the last time. Changed up things that I didn't like, things that were too slow, took out things like Jinzo and whatnot, which is really weird. I've been running Jinzo since forever in this deck, literally back before I was even a machine deck way back in the day. Also dropped some Cyber Dragons and some other things, but let's go with what we've got here. 3 Machina Fortress, because that's the deck. 3 Gearframes, because those lead into the combos. 3 Cannon, 3 Gearspring Spirit for about the same reason. 2 Scrap Recyclers, because they search out Fortress, they recycle monsters into the deck, shuffle and draw 1 card. As I said, I dropped the 3 Cyber Dragons to 1 to make room for other things. Still keeping the 2 Cyber Dreis though, because they come in handy and it still keeps my Cyber Dragon plays live. 3 Peacekeeper, mainly to add to consistency of being able to go from that into Gearframe. 2 of each of the red, yellow, green gadget. Almost wanted to do 3, but I can get away with it at 2 because Scrap Recycler recycles them back into the deck. And one of the last things I did was run Gigantes and the Rock Spirit, because I fuel the grave with a lot of Earths that I'm not really reusing, especially like Machina Cannon and Scrap Recycler. When they hit grave, they're pretty much dead. So that makes use of them from grave to easily make 4s. 1 Redox, because you gotta run Redox with this. 1 Machine King, because it's the beat stick. That can easily be a 3200 monster at least. So it can beat over annoying things like Leo or Star Eater. It definitely gets over big things. Can easily be strong enough to beat over a Djinn, even with the threat of Crane. So it's a good big beat stick, and it's an Earth, and it's level 8, so it's good for Fortress, and it's good fodder for everything. Spell lineup, we've got 2 Iron Calls to speed up the rank 4 plays. I used to be running 2 Stronghold, the moving fortresses, but I took those out for those because they're faster. 1 Gold Sarc, mainly for Redox, but I can always Gold Sarc anything, but that's the general purpose. Same thing with Foolish Burial. It's really for Redox, but if I already have the Redox, I can use it on Fortress or something. 2 Power Duality for basic consistency. Great opening for first turn, because I can use that Power Duality and then I can set something like Peacekeeper or whatever, because I'm not going to really go off and start special summoning first turn anyways. Soul Charge, loving that right now. Basically, it's just to go into Exes. Power Bond for our Chimeratech Overdragon. Limiter removal, because that's just a win button. And the only traps are 2 Karma Cuts. Next up is the extra deck. We've got 1 Chimeratech Overdragon, just for Power Bond. 2 Dracossacks. 2 Big Eyes, because I don't like Master of Blades. 1 Honor Arc, because it's going to be an Exciton Knight. Gigant X, Lavalval Chain, with the Rose Cowboy. Maestroke, Rhapsody and Berserk. Loving that card with Felgrand. And the last card is just 1 Chimeratech Fortress Dragon. Already said I've got the Gigant X for in case I need extra search power, and the Chimeratech in case I'm playing against a machine deck. I can set that in. 1 Iron Wall, a Macrocosmos, 1 DD Crow, same thing with this, Forbidden Graveyard, I really like that, would just shut down. And then general stuff like 2 Fiendish Chains, 2 Forbidden Lances, Warning, DMA Surgery, because that can really work with my machines. 2 Trap Stuns went, tends to work pretty darn well. Here's what a kind of like a random hand might look like for this. The Karma Cut, Rock Spirit, Gearspring Spirit, Machine King, and a Gadget. So with this, I may or may not set the Karma Cut first turn just in case they open with MST. That way I might set it turn 2. But in this situation, probably going to go for the Gadget. Get his effect, search, we'll add that one to my hand. And that'll just be it for the turn. So again, kind of hoping they don't open up and OTK right off the first turn. They might put some big stuff up there, whatever. I don't really care. I'm willing to take the hit because I'm hoping they do kill the Gadget. But if they don't, I'll just make Gigant X. So they kind of have to, because they know if they don't touch it, I'll be able to make a rank 4. Pretty much guaranteed. So the next turn is probably just dead, and we just topped into Machina Fortress, which is kind of broke anytime I top into that thing. I really didn't have any cards here that actually search, other than the gadgets searching themselves out. But even if I didn't top Fortress, I was probably going to get it anyways, because I'm going to summon the gadget, which gets me yellow. Really combos well with the spirit, the rock spirits and the Gigantes, because now I'm just going to banish this dead green gadget, summon rock spirit, and easily just make rank 4. If I didn't have Fortress in hand already, I would go for the Lavalval Chain, which I might still make, but at this point I could make, depending on what their field was. They just set a monster or something, because it's their first turn, they might just set up, or they might have a really big broke hand and just go out with a bunch of stuff. So I might use the Honor Arc, I might need to already use Exciton Knight, who knows. But for now, I would just take what would normally be a Lavalval Chain, my stupid proxy with the face on it, but anyways, detach the gadget so there's a machine monster in grave, and I am actually deciding whether I want to top into Gearframe or throw away the Machina Fortress. I think because it'll give me more plays, I'm going to top into Gearframe, so I'm going to use this effect to put Gearframe on the top of the deck. So I'm going to set the Karma Cut now. Would do that on my second turn. That way if I end and they do have MST in their hand, chances are they probably have monsters on their field that I can now chain Karma Cut to. You know, that thing that Bottomless wouldn't be able to do. And then I would end with that, so that can die or whatever. I have my searchers in my hand, that's all that really matters at this point. So then my next turn I would top into that Gearframe, and at this point probably summon it. That Lavalval Chain probably wouldn't be alive anymore. If it was, I would then definitely be sending Fortress to the grave, and with the Gearframe search I would either take the Cannon, or because there's a Fortress in hand I'll probably take the Fortress anyways, which that whole, if the Lavalval Chain was still alive, actually I think I would send Redox instead of the third Fortress, just to open up that and have access to 2 Fortresses and a Redox. But I'm going with the assumption that nobody would have left the Lavalval Chain alive, because that would just be too many combos off of that. So at this point we've got 2 Fortresses, and King and Gadget and a Gearspring Spirit. So I can summon Fortress all day long with this. Thanks to Machina Fortress being able to ditch himself as part of the cost. Of course, what that means is they both go to grave at the same time. So if I was technically summoning him, some people don't know this, if you chain Macrocosmos when I'm ditching himself as part of his cost, he would actually get banished because they're technically hitting grave first. It's the fact that they can special themselves from hand or grave, which is why you can ditch it part of its cost and just special summon it anyways. And then of course I'm going to throw probably this Perfect Machine King for the other one, and now we have access to a rank 7, and I can make either the Big Eye or the Dracossack depending, and then after detaching for their effect I can summon the Fortress back again by throwing this Gearspring Spirit away, which is pretty much all it's good for at this point because there's a Rock Spirit and a Lavalval Chain in there, so I can't summon the Gearspring Spirit. I'd probably make the Dracossack, even if I didn't need it right now, just to kind of keep the something happening from Fortress, you know, keeping them from doing whatever to it. Throw some tokens up there, and probably even equip the Gearframe to the Dracossack to protect the Gearframe more than the Dracossack. I mean, Dracossack is protected enough already, so it's more to protect the Gearframe. That way, next turn, if it's still there, I can special summon Gearframe, normal summon a Gadget Stack for Gigant X, search another Gearframe, summon it, and search Cannon, drop Fortress. I mean, just keep re-looping that. That's pretty much how everything works.